Fuck, are my dogs up at this hour? What is their problem, man? Anyways, let me. Okay, we have that and we have this. Okay, that's basically my job to activate stuff. There we go. There we have it. Uh, there we there we are. So, anyways, here we are after a week of nothing. We are back. I think it was the day before yesterday that I streamed, but anyways, uh, here we are. What the crazy to see the present. I didn't stream yesterday, right? It was like on Thursday. Yesterday, yeah. Yesterday I was too. I guess I don't know. So, anyways, here we are. I have said that here we are like 7 times already in the past minute and 15 seconds. Uh, Please say something different. Anyways, I guess yeah, here we are. No. Uh, why is this so loud? Wait. Why is this so loud out of nowhere? What's up with that? Anyways, okay, there it is. So basically, that's the plan. Probably I have that into the next scene. Today, or for today, we have today is. I wanted to check that. Today should be Friday, no? Yeah. For today, I finally have an idea. I have I thought about what I wanted to do, so we are going to commit ourselves to that. And also, I am whispering. I shouldn't be whispering so much because it doesn't get picked up by the mic. Uh, yeah, I have the excuse that it isn't even true. I just wake up, but it isn't even true. So I have no excuse as to why I'm whispering. Sorry. It happens. I guess I don't know. Anyways, but uh, that should be Discord, I guess. What's what, what's making sound? Yeah, Discord. Expected. No, certainly not. I have finished setting up everything. Wow. No, I haven't. I can continue setting up Carita for later. Uh, new. Also, my PC has been lagging more and more. I am kinda worried because I didn't expect that to happen. Like, which reason made it work like that? Why is it having troubles right now? But I couldn't really find a proper motive as to why. So as long as it keeps working, I am happy with that. I mean, it is quite a limited amount of things what to do with it, so it shouldn't matter that much. Anyways, I'm actually drinking something. I haven't drunk any water in the past like 6, 7, 8 hours, so I might be a little bit dehydrated, I guess. But yeah, waiting the timer to run down fast enough. Also, yeah, I said it before, or I didn't say it, I thought about it before. I should be properly checking because I think it is timed correctly so that when the timer is done, there are no more ads. But I don't even know that. I am not even sure if that is the reality. Uh, I will be checking. I should be checking. That's what happens. Is also sadly I have been creating more and more this tendency towards stuttering, repeating some words in a manner, and whenever I realize that I have subtitles and I watch there, or I have captions and I watch there and I see that I'm correctly stuttering, it makes me kind of nervous. I shouldn't be stuttering so much. I didn't. Fuck. I didn't used to even stutter that much before. Like, I never had such a thing happen. And I think I remember hearing something about uh, when you stutter, it is because you are nervous and because you fear not having silence and such. And certainly, it is like a subconscious process because you can even realize how damaging it can be to be stuttering consistently, but you can't still change your ways into the correct form because the amount of nervousness that you have inside of you keeps you stuttering or something like that. So I guess I do have an excuse, but it doesn't really justify anything. It simply makes me have a more of a capacity to escape the responsibility that is to not stutter, please and thank you. Eh, but yeah, I guess I guess that's that. I don't know. Also, I haven't talked about it here. I didn't even want to talk about it here. I mean, I haven't talked about it with anyone, but I don't know if I should make like a second account on Twitter to make the proper um, going live announcements for when I do go live here because I don't like to announce out of nowhere that I went live. I don't enjoy. I don't think on my feed I quite find it interesting when other people does that, and I certainly wouldn't want to replicate something that I don't care about that much. But at the same time, it is like you have a proper justification. It is necessary and whatever. So I don't really know. I'm still thinking about it, but I haven't reached um, any proper conclusion. Anyways, we're in time. Also, welcome, Savannah. Good evening. But wait, before time keeps passing, there it is. Good, good morning, people. Good evening. Good night. Why is the clock muted? Ah, there it is. Uh, so I was trying to say welcome. Hi. Uh, After quite a long time, we have found ourselves finally back here. In this time, certainly, with a concept, with a main interest, with something to do in regards to what is going to be the activity performed today. Performed performance? Is this a performance? I don't know. Anyways, as always, hi. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for watching the VOD. It is my pleasure to be here And I don't know if it makes any sense to say as our host, because certainly I don't think anybody else could be here, at the least right now, doing what I am doing. There is like, yeah, but perhaps the expression, it is, it is quite nice to be your host, refers more to those scenarios in which you have people in positions where they can out of nowhere disappear, or not disappear, rather leave. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I am like that. So it should not make any sense to say, yeah, it is quite nice to be your host for yet another day. But you get what I mean, I guess. Um, it is quite a pleasurable thing to be here, as always. And even more because, as I said, I finally have some concepts that I want to commit to, I guess, even if at the very same time it is something that we have already done. Not we are not rediscovering the wheel or anything. But yeah, basically that. Now, before I keep going, I, holy, as I wanted to say, I guess certainly we are going to see because why is it lagging so much, man? What's going on with my PC? Is it on its final legs? What's up with this? Why is it so laggy? Anyways, um, we will have to see certainly. Perhaps it is going to crash, and perhaps if it crashes, it is going to be incredibly funny because that means I have lost a possibility. If it does fail to work, Krita. But perhaps if it doesn't, we can continue with that. I wouldn't have even thought that my PC was going to out of nowhere become so bad that I could not even use Krita anymore. I mean, why is it happening? What's the reason behind this amount of trouble? But yeah, I don't know. I guess just being here is nice enough, so I can justify it as that. I guess yeah, I wouldn't truly know. I mean, I didn't even expect my PC to have problems, but well, it happens. After almost 80 years of having it, it happens. It makes sense. It is to be expected. So yeah, um, isn't it morning? Yeah, it is morning for me. Uh, Sorry for answering like 5 minutes late. It is morning for me. Or I mean, particularly today, it isn't even morning. I don't know why the sun hasn't come up yet. So we are in the. I think it is the dawn, something like that. The moment in which you are still waiting for the sun to arise, and it is even kinda late. Yeah, it is kinda late. I don't know why it hasn't appeared yet. I think there is a storm approaching, so maybe that's why. Perhaps it is already up, but we can't see it from my house because clouds and whatever. So yeah, um, here we are, I guess. Despite every other incident. But yeah, I don't know. What a what a crazy thing. I haven't talked about it here. I know. I probably I did mention that to some degree. Um, the last Saturday when I was quite drunk. So if I did mention that, I don't even remember exactly how, but my my vacations are finally over. On one hand, and on the other one, they are sadly over. But I guess that's something quite interesting. I wouldn't have expected. to do so much yet so little in such a time frame. It was quite entertaining and it was quite wonderful to do that. And I should certainly be expecting a lot of things from the future. I don't even know how it is going to work in terms of will I finally break last last semester. I it feels kind of bad to say it because it sounds quite depressing, but the reality is I might finally break the next semester. I don't think I have that much of an energy in me to be capable of um, using the bike every single day to go and return from the school. Um, it is quite a tiresome travel, so I don't know how is that going to work out. I already had problems before. I already had horrible cramps and whatever. So we will have to see how that works this time around. But at the very least, that besides that on being ignored that one thing, I can keep working on every other stuff. I can keep working on making making stuff, I guess. Perhaps I can finally also have a proper reason to make videos instead of so many streams. I mean, I remember even thinking about it before. Sadly, or I wouldn't know exactly if sadly is the proper definition. I I found myself thinking about somebody who said, yeah, somebody who said something somewhere, um, and reaching the conclusion that very much as it is their case, in mine also, it happens that this kind of stuff takes time, and this kind of stuff requires quite a lot of patience to, I would say, reach anywhere. It is quite necessary to be capable of finding any kind of. Um, I don't want to make it too much um, impersonal in terms of. Okay, let's say it like this. It sounds bad to simply treat it as, oh yeah, you want numbers. No, it certainly doesn't work like that. It needs to have PV. What is PV? What is this word? Hello. Why is it exclamation mark PV now? What? Hi, Sam. Why is it exclamation mark PV? What? What is this emote? Anyways, sorry. Yeah, I was saying. Um, I hope you're doing well, son. Um, I was on the line of. Sadly, I found out. I think I already kind of knew it, but I have now consciously finally reached the conclusion of it will take quite a lot of time for anybody who has an interest in hearing any kind of message similar to what we talk about here. Um, and it will take quite a huge load of patience for that to happen in terms of our continuous existence. And sadly, that very same process of reaching anywhere won't also happen out of this spontaneity of life, I think it is. And it, in words that I can say, it won't happen out of nowhere and it won't happen just because we got lucky. It needs to happen if it is something that one believes can be manipulated in any way. It needs to happen because we were capable of working towards making what we talk about here better known. And sadly, I I think at the very least in our case, it won't be a reality that I will get the opportunity to find ourselves in any of those places um, where anybody can say that they have an interest and that they also have an opportunity to hear what we are talking about without, and that is wow, the piece of knowledge, making videos. As simple as that. I I guess basically the point is I should be I should and I will be focusing a little bit more on making videos. But I mean the problem is also I don't really find that many opportunities to make anything in besides this time gap. And if I have this time gap free, I enjoy quite more to be capable of simply going live, but at the very same time, sadly, I have also realized it is true that going live is interesting and is an entertainment for everybody, but at the same time, it requires quite a lot less of conscious effort to find out which things are we going to truly consider. And that is why, in that very same sense, um, making the creation of other type of content um, end up being quite necessary because something more focused and something more directed at any kind of message is better. And even if it is on an offline manner, it can be enjoyed by whoever wishes, yeah, by whoever finds it an interest to do so. So certainly just the patience in that sense. And certainly, I don't know. I haven't talked about it yet, but probably if we are aiming anywhere, this will take even more time than what I have expected before. I know I have talked about it with other people, but not here. That if this whole process, objective, dream, goal, I don't know which word will fit the best here, but I guess if this whole process requires time, I was expecting something like 10 years before, with the reality of starting from the second or the third to be already good. Perhaps it is going to take like 15 to 20 years, I reckon. Um, but I don't know. I I guess patience is still necessary. Also, welcome, Momo. Momo, 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 Mo, welcome. Very good evening, I think it is already where you are. So, yeah, hi, here we are. As of right now, simply speaking, I am I am letting my phone charge for when I need it. It's getting so yeah. Um, good noon. I haven't heard people say good noon. So yeah, good evening. Um, good morning. Okay. Uh, good morning. I guess. Yeah. I wouldn't say good noon. I haven't heard anybody say good noon. So yeah, basically good morning or good evening. Uh, Good midday. ah, morning or until 1 p.m. I don't even know which time is it where you are, so if you say so, uh, and if you say that it is morning, I believe in you. Uh, ah, good 50%. Yeah, basically. Uh, let's say good show. We have already survived 50% of the day. There is still the other 50% half remaining. Good good luck surviving it also. And realize that time is running out. Do what you need to do. Some very healthy amount of dread dreadiness. Ay, no, 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 no. No, sorry, I didn't want to say it like that. Please, it was a joke. Don't take it as, oh my god, time is passing and I don't know, stuff happens or not. I I wouldn't know what to tell you. Don't worry, it is fine. Uh, ah, I I don't know. Anyways, I was what we were doing was simply, as I said before, simply talking. I am really not doing anything so far. Later on, I will finally pick up the mouse and draws, not draw, um, illustrate. What is the proper word for this even? What do I do when I open Greta? Like, I know that I put words into a canvas. What is it? I make a visual guide? What do I do even? I don't know. Anyways, um, we will do that later on. But right now, we are simply waiting, as I said before, for my phone to charge. If not, I want to see um, people. I want to see what's going on in chat. So I need to have my phone charged for that. But yeah, patience is key. And on the very same line of patience, before getting sidetracked, I was saying that perhaps this will take time. And perhaps it will be like 15 to 20 years, I reckon. But I don't know. I guess quite a crazy thing is to see also is the amount of opportunities that one has throughout those years. I mean, I I don't know how much of a positive thing it is to think about it. I have even heard. I should still analyze it properly. I know there is one um, philosopher or what is the proper saying? Philosophist, philosopher, somebody who does philosophy, who talk about it in better terms of it doesn't really make sense the statement of out of every single reality, the one in which we are living right now is the best one because it is the one in which you are capable of taking action the way in which you are right now. Therefore, you can conclude that every single event leading up to the present was the correct one, even if it wasn't for what you feel or in your senses the correct kind of, it was still a very good approximation to the enjoyment of what is your actual present. I do need to keep analyzing that properly, and I need to hear whoever was it that tried to refute it because supposedly even the most famous quote was the one that this guy made about such a thing. But despite philosophy, I think perhaps it is true that this is the best reality. I believe that. I find it to be quite a heavy piece of calming information, I guess, because I don't think it will make that much sense to try and fix so many things that can't be solved from the past. And I am quite happy also with whatever has happened so far. I am quite content with the realization that I had quite a lot of opportunities and did quite a lot of things. And it also is a reality that we have still a huge future ahead of us in terms of simply life expectancy. I should have on me around, I guess, I wouldn't know if 60, but perhaps 50 to 40 years more of being alive. So yeah, um, we'll see what happens when when I keep existing in the future. The point is, going back to what I said before, we will see, and I will try to I will try to keep also going in terms of um, making this one tiny thing that is in the whole, yeah, in the whole thing of being alive and being part of the world be doing, So we will see how it goes, but I don't think for the, at least for the very near future, I would have any particular reason to stop in that sense and to say, no, yeah, you know what? This can't keep going anymore and whatever. So yeah, we will see. But so far, it has been a very nice show. Thanks for everything. And there is still more to do, so we shall be ready to keep going, I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I truly don't know. It takes quite a lot of time to sometimes to reach any kind of proper conclusion in terms of a lot of things, in terms of ideas, of plans. So certainly patience is quite a necessity. But I guess the one best thing that I can say is everybody can hope to have enough patience on them to be capable of not being so anxious for everything. And certainly it tries to be that way, at the very least, my case. So I can try to argue. I am. We are fine in that sense. But at the very same time, sadly, that is, I think, the worst side of that. Everybody can still find themselves suffering because at the end of the day, the anxiousness, even if you fight it back, it doesn't disappear. So it takes quite a lot of proper control of your mind, let's say, to be capable of avoiding those ideas or avoiding them at least at the degree at which you don't have them anymore and you don't have to keep thinking about, yeah, what brings so much distraught to your existence anymore, or at least to a lesser degree. And it becomes quite a hard thing to do when you realize that, yeah, a lot of things need to be in order for that thing itself to happen. So I don't know. We will see how it goes. Regardless of that, I guess also it is making me too nervous. Why is this thing so laggy? What is exactly the problem? We have 2 FPS. What is going on? I try to not be angry. I try to not be nervous. I try to ignore it completely, but it is unavoidable. Why is this lagging so much? Man, what what is exactly the problem? Um, I didn't change anything even. I don't know. I guess lag. Lag is something. But anyways, let me drink some water. It made me too angry. Thank you. But yeah, I think sadly, and on the other hand, um, quite quite coincidentally, it is happening that, as I said, my PC is slowly dying. So perhaps we will see. I hope Greta works, and I truly say it with interest, but I don't think it will work. So perhaps we'll have to retire even from that, and we will see what happens from there on. If it really happens that I can't even use Greta now out of nowhere, um, we will finally become the the highest form of me talking without any other worry whatsoever, and without any other filter whatsoever. And I guess, and I am even kind of, I won't lie, I'm even kind of looking forward to that. It feels nice to have a proper excuse. Yeah, to have an excuse in place to justify that I can simply talk for hours on end without having to worry about any other thing being shown or whatever. Because certainly, I think it is always something that most people who decided to do, in this case, we have dropped frames. This is so fucking over. Anyways, most people who do any kind of satsu content, and as in translation, just talking content, worries about always. It might not be entertaining enough to provide just me talking. Certainly, it might not be, but I can't do anything else with my PC if it decides to die at any other event that I try to do. So yeah, um, we will have to see how it works this time around. But this is incredibly worrisome. Why do we have 2 FPS, brother? What is going on, man? What's the problem? Like, I need okay. I need to check what is happening. Do I have a actually have a virus out of nowhere on my PC? System interruptions is at 100% of the usage of my CPU. What? Okay, uh, I guess I I don't know. The CPU is struggling. That is what I can say so far. That is the thing that is having the most problems right now. And I can't even close stuff. I literally have. Okay, I know I have a tendency towards hardening, having too many tabs open. Let's say like that easier. Too many tabs open. But I don't want to close them. I need to have 5 tabs open. Maybe four. Maybe four. Okay. Okay. I can close one. Thank you. Uh, there is still 5. I counted incorrectly. Uh, so, anyways, I don't know. What a nice thing. My PC is finally dying. I will be no more burdened by the excuse that I have it to keep using it. The moment it dies, I will be free of the machine and I will be one with the universe. No. No, certainly not. Please, I am going to fucking cry if my PC really dies. It is worrying me too much to see that out of nowhere we are having so many problems. I, please, I beg to the gods, don't die, beautiful machine, don't die. Um, anyways, we have reached the half an hour mark and 15 seconds. Let me see. Do I have my phone charged? Can I use it? 54. It should suffice. How much time? How much time do I have? I have like 2 hours still to talk. So yeah, I think it should be enough. 54% should be more than enough to. We will have to see. Let me set it up. Let me try to open. Also, something funny is probably at least, and that is quite sad. I don't know because nobody has complained because I can't check. Um, it seems the audio is working fine, despite there sometimes being completely detrimental spikes of FPS right now. We are 2 FPS? What? We were at 1.8? What is going on, man? We are at 3? We are at 7? Why is my PC dying so intensely? What? I probably changed something that I shouldn't have changed, I guess. I don't know. I have no reason. I see no no clear explanation as to why this is happening. Um, what is going on? Anyways, let me open this. Here we have Twitch itself open. Uh, also, welcome, Crespian. Thank you for lurking. Let me see. So there we have chat. I wanna see. It should be extremely laggy, no? It doesn't seem to be that laggy on stream. I Why does it say that it is so laggy here? If it isn't that laggy on the other end, what? Is OBS even lag to me? What's going on? I don't know. Um, Funny things happening, I guess. But yeah, here I have chat. I can see what is being said in case anything happens. So I have no more excuses. Let me test. Man, I hope it works, but I'm gravely worried. I have a Windows capture. Okay, uh, here it is. Control C or Control Z. Why do you say Z though instead of Z? Anyways, there we go. Transition. Why is it at 30 FPS? What? I guess it is incredibly confusing. Anyways, it works, so I have no more excuses. I guess we will finally properly do stuff here. On Carita, thank you. We are at 30. We are completely locked at 30 FPS, completely smooth out of nowhere. What? What? Uh, okay. I have I wish I had any particular kind of explanation as to why, but yeah, that happens. I guess. Let me see. So yeah, it is working perfectly well. What is going on? Anyways, so I wanted to I wanted to talk about stuff. I don't know why I have such a huge brush. What happened here last time? I Why did I have such a big brush? What did I do last time? I don't know. So this is still too big. I was thinking. Okay, I was thinking. Let me start with something. Something exclamation mark. Sorry. No, I didn't want to say that. Perhaps I didn't want to say that. I I was thinking last time I was last time what what the last time I was thinking I was before before starting stream. That is what I really wanted to say. I was observing something and I realized it is quite necessary to properly consider it, and I sadly think I wouldn't do it um, anywhere because it is one of those processes, in my case at the very least, where you don't do it because you already know that it feels, let's say, um, quite, I guess, not bad, but rather the amount of friction that you feel from doing what you know makes you reflect so much on your own nature. That is that degree of discomfort is something I certainly don't enjoy, and I can, to a certain degree, being overly meta, there is that degree of separation. Because when I am discussing things here, I am trying to be more focused on what I am saying rather than what I am talking about. Perhaps, and that is also to a certain extent why it makes so much sense for some people. Um, it is quite easy to talk about bad stuff that happened to you because to a certain degree you're not really thinking about what you're saying. You're just thinking about how you are saying the things that you're talking about. That is why on the final analysis you can find so many people even doing that one beautiful thing that is called trauma dumping because you simply want to talk and you need to talk, and if the necessity to talk ends up cornering you without any particular topic at hand, you will choose what feels so bad, but at the very same time, what you have so many times in your mind, always present. So, yeah, that very same thing here. I guess that degree of separation makes it easy to talk about this instead of properly thinking by by introspective methods. So, anyways, yeah, what was happening was I had this one realization. I forgot what was it. No, uh, I wish it was a show given, but I kind of forgot what was it. Let me see. Let me. Okay, let me write the stuff out. Oh my god, it's conducting an analysis of your nature. Okay. Okay, there it is. I think sometimes when you read the stuff, you find very similar titles to this one. Um, an analysis of the method with which you analyze yourself, I guess. That will be the shortened version of what is this one discussion, because in the end, it is quite interesting to realize how many ways it is that, yeah, in how many ways it is that you observe the person that you are, while at the very same time ignoring so many things of the nature that makes you be who you are. And it ends up being quite surprising even to find out that there are so many sides of the analysis that you avoid doing despite always having the capacity of choosing whichever thing you wish to, and also despite not even trying to avoid it, let's say, because something quite expected always is you are supposedly, in, at the very least, in that self reflective conversation that you have when you say, yeah, I am trying to get into any better place. That is why I decided to embark on the journey, quote unquote, of understanding my own character and whatever. Um, you do that in hopes to help yourself, not to damage what you are. So it ends up being, that is what I said, funny to see that so many times anybody, in this case, it is quite easy to simply use oneself as an example, but anybody fails to do so. And I don't even know. Sometimes sadly, it is the biases that we carry from before. So it is already quite an entertaining thing to find out about them, because certainly it is quite impossible to get rid of those biases without, at the very least, hurting quite a lot. I mean, one of the worst and at the very same time best things that could happen to anybody who was in a very, well, it is kind of a heavy example, but I think it illustrates my point. Sorry for not choosing something simpler. If you live in a very abusive household, it is quite easy for you to believe that the amount of aggressiveness that you experience throughout your day is the norm. When in reality, once you are capable of extracting yourself from that situation, you realize not only that your bias towards how relationships are conducted in any way was wrong, you also learn and you're also capable of identifying, as long as you're consciously trying to do so, um, you can realize that it is possible to not have that amount, in this case, of damage and negative situations happening, but it does still have that degree of friction in which you have physically to deal with the knowledge, or with the, yeah, with the assumption of I might be going through something that I don't like. So it is quite a horrible thing to do. That is why also I guess I could have chosen a better example, but at the very same time, um, sadly, it is like a very simple one. Um, also, welcome. How to say it? Jane John Pete Chan. Um, yes, certainly. Explosion. Me when I have to say words. Let me separate this thing now. So there it is. The problem is, where do we even start with this? I guess I love I love and I hate this guy because he chooses to go into incredibly hard things to talk out, and I have to make out from what he chooses things that are comprehensible enough for everybody, beginning with for me, and it is incredibly hard to do so. That guy, I will kill that guy. No, I I love that guy. That guy being me. Yeah. Um, let me. We kind of already explain a lot of things, so maybe we can start with that. Let me try it this way. The problem is it is too much text. I don't want to have. I already had to write paragraphs. The last time I did a very in-depth analysis of anything, I hate to write so much. Anyways, it is. but the consequence of my actions, bear with me. I will be silent while I write. Thank you. Ah, man. Doesn't it go with seed? Doesn't it go with like that? Yeah, it does. Certainly, it does. I guess no. I might be I might be convincing myself of stuff that doesn't work like that. I sometimes I have the excuse I am ESL. Sometimes I forget what I am talking about. Thank you. Um, can I write the letters so that they can be understandable, please? Thank you. Um, I had a complete conversation about this in my mind, but I don't know how much of that is useful to truly say. Man, I I realize that something quite true, at least in my case, is I supposedly think it is quite useful to stay silent. I don't know if it is um, that good to truly remain fully silent in this moment in which I am putting words into the canvas, but I did so behind the excuse of, oh, yeah, it is it is quite an artistic process. What? I don't think so. Buddy, where is that where confidence coming from? Perhaps, but we will never know. Everybody needs to be a little bit egotistic to get anywhere, I guess. And better, what? Solve better, fix. I'm looking for one word here too. Yes, increase. There is no better one in this case. think there shouldn't be a second M here. I already wrote it. I am not going to take it out. Thank you. Um, the amount. Okay, finally, no more writing for like 1 minute. Thank you. I guess certainly there is some degree of problems here. I am talking about stuff, and the things that I decided to talk about uses some degree of terminology that is, I don't know if that much understandable for everybody, because to begin with, it is already hard to understand for me. Um, but okay, we can pray that everybody gets those ideas better than me. So now, properly talking, properly saying what is it that I find here. Um, what I already mentioned before of the interest to analyze yourself doesn't come out of the most people, at the very least, don't do it because they want to attack who they are and they want to worsen their situations or whatever. It simply happens because you are willing instead to become aware of what is it that you can fix and be capable of working on those situations and those flaws that make you not be that holiest self that you can become if you end up properly from there on using that potential into anywhere. It doesn't come out of nowhere that then you simply one day wander into the direction of wow, what is it that makes me be who I am, even if to a certain degree, because that is also the reality of most. To a certain degree, the boredom that you experience in your life could make you feel like it is true and like it is the reality of your case, that you didn't truly wish to get yourself any kind of um, any kind of awareness about what you are, but that very same friction that made you start and that boredom that prompted you up towards the analysis of your own character didn't come out of nowhere in terms of wow, yeah, it was completely spontaneous. There is always, let's say, an underlying desire. And once again, unless we are talking about a very self self-harming types of analysis, you certainly do embark in this kind of endeavor, I guess, in order to understand what makes up your character and what can be done about it in any kind of area, because that is also the funny thing about it. I say character quite a lot when in reality we're talking about any kind of self-regulated self-assessment. It mm, a very good example, I think, could be you can even try to self regulate and observe and assess. Um, and obviously, the only word that I didn't use so far that literally serves this purpose, analyze the process that you engage in, even in video games, and even in those areas. You can do that. But here it is that we can finally put the continuation of this. And now, goodbye. I will yet again go silent. Let me write. How much? I don't know. Because I don't even know what I am going to write the next. So, anyways, canvas is incredibly huge out of nowhere. It was like the canvas expands upon your eyes moment. Uh, Stop making the letter so tiny. I can't even understand what I'm writing. Um, next, next chapter, 1 pixel of a letter. Um, Also, something that I realized, I said potential here, and the amount of potential use in our lives, as if that made any sense to anyone. Sorry. Um, I guess I don't even remember why I love knowing stuff and not even knowing from where is it that I learn all these things. But there was somebody who proposed something along the lines of you possess a degree of potential in your life, and this potential is something that can be pretty much correlated to how many things can you accomplish, and being capable of using that potential mm, will certainly affect you positively or negatively, and as well also how much you can extract in your existence. This very same kind of thing is dictated by your nature. I think it was, I think, please learn about it by yourself. Completely ignore me in this case. But I think it was from Plato. I think it was, or if it not, if it wasn't from him, it was from Aristotle. One of the two proposed this idea, and it is even to this day used. Let's say, albeit with a more understandable shape. But yeah, that is what I refer when it's what I am referring to when I say potential. This idea of you possess, in this case, this potential refers to you possess a degree of capacity towards making anything out of what you are. The cap the potential to become something, let's say. And the problem is also that something doesn't need to be anything in particular. You simply hold a lot of capacities towards any kind of idea that you can picture in your mind. And that is kind of at the very same time hard. No, that is kind of why also, sorry, why this idea is kind of complex to understand, at least for me, because it refers to the nature of you have infinite potential in terms of you can see that you possess those degrees of potential in any area of your life. Like, let's say, you can become a better, starting with something simple, or with the simplest of the examples, you can become a better student, a better worker, a better friend, a better family member, a better partner. You can become a better mm, implying, a better, in some cases, even, I guess, certainly, for example, most here, you can become a better streamer, a better communicator, a better person capable of even understanding who you are. That is why it is hard to understand. You can become a better anything. The potential exists in any kind of thing that pertains to your reality. That is why it is innately hard to fully see, because there is so much potential behind all the aspects of your life that you might as well never be capable of observing all of it at once. Never. Because you have untold degrees of capacities in every single area that you can think about, in which you are capable of realizing that you have any capacity of exerting yourself over. So, that is why, once again, this idea of potentiality and whatever, it is quite tiresome. In the final analysis, is quite tiresome. It has too much of a wow. You can become anything if you put your mind into it, but it is more like a human possesses a lot of potential towards a lot of things, but they mostly fail to accomplish anything because they don't even realize that such potential exists in their lives. Anyways, I wanted to do that explanation because I realized when I was writing potential here that I didn't explain what does it mean here, because this definition isn't the same as this one, and I think it is quite understandable without even the explanation. But just in case, that being already said here, the second point, the second part of this is the knowledge that you hold in correlation to the process of analysis that you decided to engage in is what will, for the majority of the process, decide how much you will be capable of changing in any kind of direction. And it doesn't mean that you will be capable of becoming better or getting yourself the help that you need, let's say. It simply talks about the nature of if you don't even possess, and that is kind of the problem with any kind of situation in this case. If you don't even possess an understanding about what some situations that can be problematic for the whole cause that you're pursuing can be, it will be impossible for you sometimes to reach naturally the conclusion that can lead towards the discovery of those damaging situations that do happen, or those damaging conditions that do affect the process in which you engage, let's say. And that is most of the time the biggest hurdle for everybody, because even if we live in a society in which you possess people around you that can try to lead you towards any kind of way in which you can become better at doing whatever you wish to, it is still true that even if they handle you those responses, and once again, partially what dictates the most this process is the capacity for you to understand this as real information slash knowledge that can be used for the sake of your very same process instead of being disregarded or being directly used as a counter argument to motivate yourself towards the substance. I think it is. What is the proper term? It is something like towards the survival of those innately damaging behaviors. I think it is one of the many definitions that it has. So, once again, what you know about can help you towards the directions that you are willing to go in, but what you don't even possess any idea of, you won't be capable of fixing in any degree. And it is still true that I said it before, you have people around you that can to some degree help you, but that is, I guess that is even the worst part of this, that sometimes you will realize even those who are around you don't even know about this situation. So it becomes quite an imperative thing to find out how you can obtain as much of an understanding as possible about these very same, yeah, these things by yourself in case of that knowledge being available. I guess I hope nobody here is certainly finding themselves dealing with anything that is outside of the ordinary bounds of knowledge, let's say, because it is quite exasperating once you find out that the knowledge that you hold and the knowledge that you realize is held by everybody is still insufficient towards the resolution of those problems that decided to be, yeah, to become visible to you, let's say. But for the big majority, that is not the reality. The big majority has, in any kind of mm, e- area of expertise or whatever, or even in their daily lives, and those situations that traverse every single person, can find out that these things do, in fact, have quite a big compendium of already analyzed information, let's say. But anyways, too much talking. Let me do stuff. I said partially, so let me. I kind of even already mentioned that, but just in case, you know. It is. Yes, thank you. That is an S. Certainly, that is an S. Everybody understands that this is an S. No, there it is. More understandable there. Thank you. can somebody tell this guy, please, that he doesn't know how to write? That he makes letters that nobody can understand? Flexibility. I don't know. Can't we please use simpler terms? I hate this word. Also, my it almost froze. My phone almost died, but it didn't. Thank you. Yeah. It's okay. That is. I kind of already explained this. I shouldn't be detailedly already going over this. I did so when I was talking about all of this stuff, but just in case, because there is that beautiful word, which makes everybody who reads that simply ask themselves like, what is this guy even talking about? Which other conditions might be out there that might influence this? Which other thing can truly dictate the potential of change that anybody holds inside of themselves? As it says there, um, how, which, why are they not mentioned there? Here properly, sir, so that I don't have later on to deal with the problem of, wow, you said partially and you didn't even explain which other things. I did so, but only verbally, so there you have them. Visually also given. The other stuff that affects the capacity towards change for anybody are in a very short manner. First and foremost, the degrees of friction that you can endure, because the capacity of enjoying the unpleasantness that brings to yourself in general, the discomfort of having to deal with those problems will certainly be one of the factors that will allow you or break you before you can truly change those things that you have started to realize or are trying to realize do com- compose a problem for what you are trying to deal with or what you are already dealing with. So that is the beginning of which things do indeed modify the capacity to change or the potential that towards change that anybody holds. Second is, and that is what I said, there is no simpler word. The flexibility of your schemas, as in, there is no better word. Your world vision will be kind of an explanation, a shorter one. The flexibility of your ideas will be the way of explaining it with the least amount of words. But the problem is, in reality, you're leaving behind what this idea of trying to analyze anything truly comprises, because the moment in which you engage in the action of trying to see if there is something that you can solve about the nature of how you guide yourself towards the things that you do, and the moment in which you also decide to try and, to any degree, work on those things that affect your very same, yeah, your very same condition of somebody who is capable or not of doing something, is the moment in which you are dealing with the whole order of what comprises that, not simply with the idea of I wish to be good. The idea, the initial thought is certainly the motivator of that, but the whole composition of what makes you act in a certain way. Let's say a better example always is what tells you that, I don't know, after waking up, you should get out of bed, and after getting out of bed, you should get something to eat. In the case of that happening to you, it's an example, don't make it so complicated. In the case of you acting that way, you realize that you're following this scheme of things that tells you after condition A is met, go and do condition B. It is the whole connection of very similar things that go one after the other, and that do indeed indicate you um, how you should be acting in any kind of way, and how you should be trying to conduct yourself in any kind of situation. Those are not by themselves the easiest to identify, certainly also because they are, to begin with, already quite hard to even envision if you haven't realized sometimes that you do possess some tendencies and whatever, but that can be very much a quick explanation of an schema. That is also the problem of using words like this one. It is something that you should know, or you should learn by yourself, not here. I am not the guy who is that capable of explaining completely new concepts to anybody. Um, we are basing ourselves on this beautiful idea of we are all on the very same page, and I am simply addressing something that anybody can realize, pointing out something quite obvious, but that most of the time nobody even tries to mention, let's say. But yeah, that is that is the explanation of schemas, as I said. Now, for the final one, thank you for all your patience. Final one, the connections that you have. I already said before. The people around you can influence you correctly and can also damage the process in which you are engaging in if they don't know, or if they, in the interest of helping you or maybe even hindering you, give you incorrect information for this change that you're trying to engage in. That is why the in a very social scientist way, the the ambient and the nurture that happens around you is what makes you be that way, or what can help you be that way, it takes quite a lot of recognition to realize sometimes that those who are around you are in some way affecting you already, because that is also part of this whole deal, that you deal by itself with the recognition of, a lot of times, at the very least, that is what I find out happening in my case. A lot of times, the conversations that I hold with the people that I claim to see as important influence me in different directions. And when I do have this type of conversations, I should be capable of recognizing, at the very least, there are going to be a lot of influences happening afterwards, mostly based on the type of discussions that we hold, because it is a reality that what we are supposedly engaging in is any kind of interest that we, both parties, have. So it is quite an understandable idea that if we decided to talk about these things, it is because we are trying to reach any better degree of understanding about them, you know? And it doesn't happen just out of nowhere. You become capable of identifying or not what happens to you in a lot of deeper situations that traverse anybody. So yeah, that is the initial layer of this. Thank you. Let me continue. I guess here. Let me. In which phase? Yeah. Let me give me a second because I don't really know. We have the desire, we have the knowledge. I am not even truly addressing the process itself. To some degree, I have somehow completely avoided mentioning the process. It is like, oh yeah, the process happens. And when it happens, this other thing also happens. Or the process is initiated by. And when the process is happening, these other things happen. But at the same time, there is no clear mention of the process. At least I am happy with that because certainly everybody has their very own process. So very, very good. I guess I didn't fail in that sense. It isn't that much of an error to not address the process itself. Anyways, so I haven't drank water for like 20 minutes and suddenly I am thirsty. Give me a second, thank you. Hydration, my beloved. Anyways, somebody crashed. What? Somebody crashed outside. Anyways, um, I hope I don't have to go outside, man. Anyways, Fuck, I will have to go outside. Okay. I love I love people who doesn't know how to drive. Give me a second. I will have to check if what the fuck is happening. Yeah, give me 1 second. Thank you. Give me. I will have to go outside and check what's up with the guy. Um, very very nice. I guess I'll be back. Anyways, it was a guy who crashed his motorcycle. Wow, surprising. Uh, no, nothing really happened. I mean, it wasn't even that fast that he was going. He simply crashed. What is it? A slope? One of those uh, tiny things that are in the ground that yeah, 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 a speed bump. He hit the speed bump that we have, and I, I don't even know how he almost flipped over, but yeah, he crashed. Yeah, he was fine anyways. Nothing really happened. But regardless, just in case, nothing really happened. So still nothing to truly worry about. But you know, I guess worries are quite necessary in that sense to check just in order to make sure that nothing bad happened to the tiny brother. But yeah, quite tiresome. Even I guess I at some point I wanted to be a traffic controller guy. I don't know. I kind of hate that job now. But regardless, we are almost back. I am doing something. Did I do it correctly? Tell me. Okay, I am. This is big content. I typed something incorrectly. Anyways, there it is. Please, taking advantage of this tiny break, people. Please, if you can give a follow to Holden, I will say certainly at least for today. He's quite a lot more entertaining than somebody who is struggling so much to give any kind of straight idea to you. And in that sense, even certainly there is quite a lot more potential um, than somebody who delves into stuff like me. A very relaxed guy. So yeah. Anyways, with everything being fine, we are back. Now for real. What a what a nice random event. I don't even know how to describe it. I if it has any kind of description, like it just happened, like the guy had an accident, it just happened out of nowhere, but he's okay. So, anyways, continuing. I was here. The biggest problem is that is what I don't like. That um, it is too early. My, yeah, in general, not even just for my people, my family, for everybody. That is why I had to go out. If it was later, people would have gone and observed what was happening instead of it having to be me. But anyways, okay, there it is. Finally, I don't know how much did it take me to write this. It shouldn't have taken me that long, but I was talking about it already. There is this beautiful condition of what you know about you can deal with what you don't realize you will never be capable of affecting in any way, and it doesn't happen that it is something so simple, because it does have quite a negative side to it, and it is when you realize even that there is a degree of this very same type of stuff happening here that is in the realm of going, okay, we're kind of going out of the way of the analysis itself, but it is also what I have been observing. There are a lot of things in which you might never have realized you could have reached an even higher point, but because you believe that you have fully obtained the best condition possible for those things, you have already quite given up on the possibility even of, yeah, reaching and obtaining the pleasure of holding or manifesting into reality what can only be said before as a potential of this better condition that can affect you. And to some degree, it does even happen sadly that in most areas of our lives we don't even understand to which degree it is a reality, that there is an underlying mm, amount of potential hidden behind the stuff that happens and hidden behind the amount of things that everybody experiences. But we believe that we do so, and we have this certainty with which we guide ourselves that tries to tell you how much of an idea that you are supposedly completely right about this very same world is the guiding factor, without once again being fully sure if the concepts that you claim to be the correct ones are indeed the appropriate ones, or it is just incorrectly spent efforts, I will call them. In, because even sometimes, okay, continuing in that very same line, sometimes you can realize that there is a possibility to do something better. And I am not talking about this ideal, infinitely more optimal way of dealing with every single thing in life. I am rather talking just about the nature of, sadly, because you can't even picture inside of you. You don't even possess the knowledge about how much of a capacity you hold about solving those problems that do happen to you. There is a very high chance that most of those things that you experience in the process of doing anything end up being taken as necessary steps instead of being properly identified as, once again, solvable situations and solvable problems, mostly. So it doesn't talk about this side because that is one of the main concerns when you discuss this thing. It isn't about this side of, wow, there is a hypothetically perfect way in which I can convey to you with just one word this whole explanation. With just one word, I can give you this idea. And if you understand it, that will be amazing because I wouldn't have to be here talking for hours on it. No, we're talking about something understandable. Maybe, let's say, if I didn't realize that I wasn't even showing what I am doing here on screen, uh, it could be quite useful to also have the visual assistance provided to you just in order to be capable of ensuring that every single thing said here and every single thing that is indeed talked about seems to be present for everyone to understand. Those kind of problems that you can't even realize because you're not, you don't even have the capacity to become aware of them. Like, how will you be on the lookout for some problems that you don't even understand where they are coming from? That is the problem that most people find themselves in, and that is kind of the continuation of this very same line. To some degree, the solution to some other, the biggest initial problem that everybody faces when they are doing any kind of activity. But let me try to explain it reasonably in a reasonably comprehensible manner. I I almost got scared. Another motor or bicycle passed, but this one didn't crash. Uh, Nice. Anyways, so what am I talking about? Ah, yeah. Mm. good, good evening, Ramnor. Here we are talking about the nature of the world, I guess. No, what are we talking about? An analysis on how anybody analyzes the nature of the things that they do. That is what we are talking about for real. That is the quickest rundown I can give you. Okay, come on. Oh my god. I think there is kind of a problem here. Yeah, it isn't that much of a complicated idea if you understand it properly. If it is properly introduced to you, I don't think I will do that job here. But trusting in what little I know about anything here. Explanation. Previous point. We talk about you can't realize about the things that are completely outside of your perspective unless, and that is the magic of this thing, of this new tool that becomes available to you once you're capable of realizing once again what are the limitations created by your own perspective, and that is along the lines of what can be called sympathy, empathy, those skills that allow you to place yourself in the shoes of somebody else, let's say, this whole other, I believe, different skill that is to be capable of analyzing from a completely outsider perspective what happens to you without being attached to what is your own knowledge of the situation. When something like this becomes apparent to you, and when you possess the capacity to properly exert this very same skill in reality, there it is that you discover how you can, by analyzing in that very same moment, by analyzing from the outside what happens inside of your whole schemas, as I said before, inside of the whole processes in which you are trying to find better ways to deal with any kind of situation. Once you harness the skill of translocating your point of view to, and that is the funniest thing, not only just the outside, any one of the outsider ones, because there are a lot of multiple ways in which you can interpret a situation, any one of the available ones for you, once you can do that, and once you can properly observe reality from there, your reality from there, it becomes then, I wouldn't say completely solve the puzzle. I don't think, I would argue perhaps that there is some kind of perspective that might be capable of solving every kind of problem that does happen. There is always that possibility, but so far, I don't think anybody has discovered this one overarching view with which you can deal with any kind of negative idea or whatever. Um, you can only translocate your mind, let's say, to what is get similar states and situations to yours, and you can only see from there with some minimal degrees of separation what happens to you. It is this explanation, when I hear about it, it always misses the side of you are really not that distant from yourself. You can't be that distant from yourself. There might be a possibility. It is always understandable that it is necessary to accept that possibilities do exist. Perhaps there is somebody who can fully separate who they are from what they experience in the world in order to get proper solutions to their problems, let's say. But most of the people can't really leave behind what they see themselves as, because that by itself is already a task comprised of things that can't be performed naturally, let's say. You can only see what you can only understand. You wouldn't. It goes back into this whole narrative of a sea. Sorry, a sea? No. A fish couldn't see outside of the sea because a fish doesn't even understand what is the air. Not that the air doesn't exist, but rather that the fish doesn't understand that there is something called air. There is something outside of the sea in which he lives or they live. So it is from there already that you have some things that can illustrate why it is quite a complex thing to deal with. Sometimes, though, you certainly have possibilities of not having to deal with these problems. I wouldn't say nobody has a chance at solving these situations, but rather you can only deal with what you can understand. And if in the efforts to translocate your point of view to that of somebody who watches from the outside, you can realize that you lack the understanding to deal with anything. At the very least, from there, you might identify something that you can then try to properly, yeah, to properly learn about. But most often than not, it is impossible to move from this step that is like the final stop for most people. I don't think that many people can, after trying to move outside of their perspectives, deal with whatever happens if they haven't already solved what happens to them. So, here, continue, because there is certainly another degree of capacity of learning about this. And I guess that Unavoidably, it was already meta, but it is, yeah, it is only going to get weirder. So it came to my mind. Hold yourself to your seats very dearly. It is, but at this stage that I have realized I am discussing something that I have already read. Um, wow. At the very least, I said before, I remember reading about it. But yeah, I didn't expect that to happen. Also, dogs. Wow, wow, wow. Are they not getting picked up by the microphone? What? If I stay silent, they aren't. So let me keep writing meanwhile. Okay, there it is. They finally shut up. Thank you, docs. So I said I remember reading about this. I don't remember exactly from where. I think at some point I did hear about it on university. I don't know if it was indeed from there or if it was from a video, because I also remember reading about it. Or not reading, hearing about it from somebody who explained that. I think so. I don't remember exactly where this phase came from, but yeah. Anyways, the point is, the moment in which you realize that you have extracted everything that you can from what somebody else might be capable of identifying, it ends up being a necessity for you to return to what is the perspective of yourself and what is the understanding that only you have about the situations that you traverse. But in the process of doing so, you also find yourself dealing with one particular thing. If you are willing to, let's say, continue with the advancement of the embetterment of what is your comprehension and your capacity to deal with the different situations that you are dealing with in your life, any kind of them. Once again, here it is that you are gifted the opportunity of, if you can properly analyze how is it that you are even observing what you are observing, and if you are going to do it with enough of a comprehension of how is it that a process like this is conducted in order to provide that version of yourself, that I once again, that ideal version of yourself that can, dogs, to any degree extract proper understanding from them, or fail in the process of doing so because you have realized that there are too many things, mo- the most common thing, that you don't even understand about how is it that you are analyzing anything, and how is it even that you can conduct even more the analysis of what you are already analyzing, let's say. So it is, at this degree, it is, I said before, it is a meta-analysis what you do, and it is a meta-observation of the method of observation that you already possess, that can lead you towards the discovery of even more ways to solve this in any kind of problem that you possess, because certainly there are ways in which you can solve most situations, let's say. Also, I need to change page. There it is. Most situations might as well be stuck between. I remember hearing this is like the initial desire, and just with the desire, you can change a lot of things. If it isn't enough, the desire, the knowledge that you harness about this problem becomes quite the second. I remember something like around, I think it was 30% of your problems are on the first stage. On the second stage are like 40. 4? This is 4? No, this is 3. In the third stage, you supposedly start having like only 10% of your problems. In the fourth one, it is that you find something like 5%. No, if it was like 3% or something like that. It is a very, very, very tiny margin of things that you find to that degree of complication. And it is only in the fifth one, you find about 1 or 0.1%, I think it was. I don't, at this point, knowing that I am talking about something that I already learned about, I am very sure there is still one layer extra that comprises an even tinier margin of these problems. But most of them already are not going to be found here. It is quite impossible for anybody to be in this place without the necessity of being here, let's say, because it doesn't mean that you can apply the fifth layer of analysis to anything. You can very easily, let's say that this even is kind of the fastest method possible if you can reach it. The fastest way to analyze stuff is to be capable of analyzing how you are analyzing things. But already in this stage, you shouldn't have that many problematic things happening to you. Like, let's say, I guess I can't come up with a better example. So, excuse me if it still doesn't make sense after this, but in the fifth layer, you should be having mostly existential crises happening, let's say. Nothing else is really that much of a threat for you to need to go so much outside of your comfort zone in order to try and solve what you're dealing with. But yeah, I, I can't. I guess there is a sixth one, but I can't remember which one was it. I think at this point, what I can say, because this I do remember we talked about in class with a professor, there is a problem that happens at this degree, and that is how can you be sure that the way in which you are analyzing how you are analyzing stuff is still the correct one? And after this point onwards, it happens that you can infinitely trap yourself in the analysis of the analysis of the analysis, let's say, because you can keep conducting observations about how you are observing things without properly dealing with the things that you are trying to solve in any degree. Because it does happen that at some point or another, you find out still flaws instead of anything as it is intended to be. Because certainly without those flaws, most of the time you wouldn't even function properly, let's say. But yeah, it isn't that common. Anyways, as I said before, it isn't that common for anybody to find themselves in the fifth or upper layers of analysis. It is quite an impossible thing for you to neither to be there. It is once again quite a useful thing to be capable of getting yourself there whenever you wish to. It is like one of those tools. I don't know. You never need to run normally on the street, but there are some very handful chances that it brings to your life to understand how you can properly run, because it doesn't mean that you're going to be running to every single place out of nowhere, but it means that you can understand how you can even optimize the process of walking. So sometimes that very same thing here. If you can understand that you can start observing things differently based on the idea that the observation that you bring to them will already bring a change in how you conduct these very same actions, you bring into reality the possibility of dealing with the problems that affect you in a positive manner without having to be so much entrapped in the problems themselves, let's say. Because it is part of the notion that when you observe what you observe, by default, you can already start to understand also why it is that the observation itself that you conducted in the first place was affecting you so much. Because it is part of the going back, it is part of the whole nature of you to realize what makes you be what you are. But, and that is the highest of the problems in this case. In the fifth level, it is incredibly tiresome to operate. Incredibly tiresome to operate. The mental energy required to reach such degrees of analysis are not so much of a given thing for anybody. Even more certainly because it takes quite a lot of energy. And by default already, let's say if you are somebody who is very tired from work, it probably won't happen that you will find out about any of these things. Or yeah, get them shown to you, let's say. But yeah, that's the explanation, I guess. I hope I am not forgetting anything at this point. I know I did everything that I could. I mentioned everything that I was capable of so far from this, but I don't really even remember if there is a sixth layer or not, and that is what kind of haunts me in a sense. But yeah, uh, thank you. We no more analysis of the analysis of the analysis. Man, I certainly did not choose something easy to deal with today. Yeah, it completely tore me out. When I realized that we were at that level, it was too late already. But yeah, I think it took me like quite a while to fully get that idea myself. The first time I dealt with it, so I hope it is understandable to anybody. I certainly okay. Going to lower levels, I certainly dread that the explanation I can give about it doesn't give enough of an emphasis on what truly is important at those degrees. But yeah, um, that's it. No, nothing more to add so far. I don't even remember. That is kind of the problem. I don't even remember where was this discussion coming from in terms of where is it that I saw it, because it was in a very particular setting. I think it was something like how you can solve problems or how can you solve most of your problems or something like that. It was a video title similar to that, I guess. If I find it, I will probably link it on. I guess very nice. What is it? Slash add uh, here. I will I will give it. If I find it, I will give it here. Whenever I find it in the Discord, I will I will give the link of the original video. I do know that guy shows better than me the idea. But yeah, I didn't think we were going to talk about it today. I mean, it just happened. But yeah, that's it for today. I am too tired. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that to any degree. I am incredibly tired. Thank you, but that's all from me for today. Also, while I look for somebody to raid, let me say that it is quite funny to see how few people are awake at such. It isn't even that early, like it is almost 9 a.m. here, and it is already quite late here, being honest. By 9 a.m., it has been an hour already that everything is open by default, so yeah. But I don't know, people likes to sleep. I, I don't know what is the justification for that. Anyways, what a what an occurrence, my brother. Yeah, I have nothing more to do here. I chose the wrong topic to talk about. Maybe a failure. Maybe that's in that sense. I guess something easier should have been better. But yeah, as always, thanks for being here. No more from me. Let me rest. I have nothing else to add so far. So, anyways, rest. Talking about rest, you know what is good to rest? Watch people play games. Watch people do stuff. Not even playing them yourself. Literally watching somebody else do that in order to not even have to engage in the action. It is like basically watching a movie. The same thing here. Watch a movie. Go watch something else. In this case, I found somebody. Bellamy. Bellamy Vtuber. But anyways, as always, I did shout out. Yet again, I did shout out instead of raid. I am amazing. I am utterly amazing. Why I am mixing up these commands, I don't know. And it's interesting. I used to do the complete opposite before. Now I am having the problem in the other direction. But anyways, as I was saying, people, thanks for everything. But I am mentally exhausted. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for looking. Thanks for watching the VOD. I hope, I pray to God that it was understandable. But yeah, no more from me. Let me rest. As I said before, we are leaving. We are taking a break. We are exiting this realm. I guess I have nothing else to add so far. As always, thanks for all. But remember to keep yourself safe. Remember to hydrate. Remember to be happy. Remember to sleep, to do whatever you need to. In this case, I guess I would say remember to analyze things. And yeah, eh, existence, such a funny thing. Anyways, whenever we can, we're getting back here. I wouldn't promise anything. Perhaps tomorrow, perhaps not. And yeah, if we don't, at the very least, we enjoyed what happened today. As always, thanks for every single thing. And the most important thing isn't that. The most important thing is we're living. We're living to raid Bellamy, who is playing Frogan. So yeah, goodbye people. Thanks for all. Have a nice one. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.